The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw Dating, preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Welcome into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw, the preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys. In the SWBC studio, we got Aisha Morrison, Bonnie Jo Laughlin, and we got Christy Scales in the studio. What's up, ladies? We got a game. We got a game.
I'm lit. I'm excited.
Are you lit?
Yes, to actually study an opponent and like that part of scouting the other team, it really excites me. And so I'm like,
and
Let's
we
go.
only play them once every 4 years.
Yeah.
We only go to Cleveland once every 8 years. So these unscouted looks that Mike McCarthy talks about, I mean, you have that at the beginning of a season anyway. But when you're talking about an AFC North opponent and the first game of the year, there are so many unknowns going into this game, even more so than you would have if it were like previous years where it seemed like we opened with the Giants every year.
Right, so in your division. That's why it makes it exciting, I think.
Yeah.
But also a little nervous.
yeah.
I'm nervous.
Fear,
I think
fear of the unknown?
yeah, and also Deshaun, we're just speaking on him. He's kind of had a pivotal year. He's had two rough seasons. I feel like, I don't want to say it, but I feel like he has a lot to prove, which makes me nervous.
That's fair.
Yes.
And then we get to see Amari again. We know what he can do. I mean, there's just a lot of things that I'm a little worrisome.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
A lot of unknown.
Oh, she's about to do it.
There's a lot of unknown, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of known for this team because the pressure is on to win this year. That was actually not that bad.
It wasn't.
It wasn't that bad.
I wasn't
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
But no, on a serious note, the Cowboys walking into week one healthy, right? So good news. A little quick update from practice on Monday because, of course, the players were off today. So Damone Clark returned back to practice. He had a knee injury, missed some time in training camp. Wanye Thomas, groin injury, returned back to practice on Monday. Israel Mukwamu returned back to practice as well. And Brandon Cooks, of course, he had some knee soreness at the end of training camp, but he is back for the Cowboys, and he will be 100% go on Sunday. CeeDee Lamb will also be 100% ready to go. That's what Mike McCarthy said, so words of MM. But talking about this offensive line, Tyler Guyton, Cooper Beebe, they have a chance to make history. We'll start with those guys. They'll be the first time since 2011 that the Cowboys will start two rookie offensive linemen. What have y'all seen from these guys that makes y'all confident?
Well, the way that Beebe has just handled the attention, but he's never played center before in a game other than preseason. And playing in front of heavy Cowboy fans on the road in preseason in Los Angeles and Las Vegas does not prepare you for the dog pound in Cleveland and 72,000 fans in the season opener. And it doesn't matter how good or bad the Browns may be, that is one of the top fan bases in the NFL. And you can practice silent counts during the week. You can crank up the stereo, the speakers, Yeah, our friends across the way in the Dr. Pepper headquarters building, which is directly across from ours. We're Cowboys headquarters on one side of the practice field, Dr. Pepper headquarters on the other side, and they love it when we play away games because for 2 hours they get cranked up noise, in their midday. But it's going to be interesting to see how they handle it. And then this is a very, very fine Browns defense that they can move Myles Garrett around if they want to, but this is going to be a huge test for Tyler Guyton as well and Terrence Steele because I think they'll both see plenty of him moving around. But I think these guys have the right makeup. They've had good camps. And, Guyton with the sore knee back at practice, then that's good. But it's going to be a whole different thing come Sunday in Cleveland. For sure.
Absolutely. I also think, I don't like to put a lot of pressure on Guyton, but he's going to have to quickly be comfortable in that position fast, and I know he's a rookie and I know he's ready, but that makes me nervous, Cooper, and also Tyler being rookies and not the unknown like we were speaking on, not knowing. So it is going to be something I'm looking at is just those two rookies. And of course, they've had such a great camp, and McCarthy has spoken about how he loves how they're confident, that their work ethic, they're taking notes, they're doing all the extra work, but it's nothing like game time.
Mm-hmm. No, Christy, I'm so glad that you brought up the silent count and that you brought up because they're going to need to go to it. And the center and quarterback communication is intense. So I really hope this week we're able to even talk to Dak and see if they've done any extra things to prepare Cooper Beebe for what's going to happen, going into that Browns defense. That Browns defense, to your point, Bonnie Jill and Christy, they move these guys around. Yeah. So, when you talk about a Tyler Guyton, one thing about Tyler Guyton is we're going to have to understand that there's going to be good times and there's going to be bad times. Like one of the things for him coming out of the draft was his hand placement. And you can see that is something that he's still working, and he's gotten better at it even by the time, since the draft. But I think that Cooper Beebe is just a tad bit more technically sound than Guyton is right now when it comes to his hand placement and stuff like that. He can kind of get away with a little bit more. But this offensive line is going to tell the tale, as far as this defense. This Browns defense is multiple. They do a lot of things. Their secondary flies around, but it really starts up at the front for them. So to your point, Christy, I'm so glad you brought up the silent count because we got to get to the bottom of that this week.
And the other thing is, Cooper Beebe was asked about it yesterday, and Nicole, I think you heard the same thing as I did when Cooper was talking, talking about the multiple things that that the Browns do, and he says, "Well, I've got Dak Prescott who can correct me on things. I may make a call, but he'll be able to point out some things." And
credit to the QB.
But that's also a thing where you got to get the calls in. Mike McCarthy's got to get the calls in, give plenty of time for the offense to get set, to recognize things, for Cooper Beebe to make the calls, for the offensive line to communicate, but also if there is a correction that needs to be made, that would be a time to do it.
And Chrissy, something that I feel like had improved was the communication between him and Dak. How have you seen it kind of grow as we've left Oxnard and back here?
It's really hard to say, just because remember that Brock Hoffman was getting the first team work for
we thought he was going to be the guy.
Yeah,
but I'm glad that
3 weeks.
I'm glad that they
switched.
They as soon as they realized that Cooper was probably going to be the starter, they went ahead and did it. And I'm glad that they did it. It took longer than what I felt like. But I'm glad that they did it because now going into this game, there is a little bit of continuity, a tad bit, probably communication-wise with the practices they've had at the Star and stuff since they've been home. So I was glad that they at least corrected it as quickly as they did. Go ahead, Mama.
Well, one thing I want to say, because sometimes we throw out some of these terms and we're talking about silent count.
Yes, ma'am.
And one of the things that we do on Girls Talk, Boys Talk is try and explain some of these terms. And so silent count means that you are on the road, it is loud. The home crowd's going crazy, cheering for the Browns defense. And so you break the huddle and you're coming up to start the play. How does the offensive line hear Dak? How do the wide receivers, even the running back, how do you communicate when it's so loud? So basically, you're giving up the fact that they're going to be able to hear you shouting. So what happens is the center is the one in the middle of the line that hikes the ball, and especially if it's a shotgun snap, there is no way that he's going to hear Dak, at least hear him clearly. So instead of Dak relying on blue 88, hot, I mean, he'll still vocalize some stuff, but what's going to happen is right next to our rookie center, Cooper Beebe, is going to be our future Hall of Fame right guard, Zach Martin. Zach will be looking over his shoulder back at Dak. Dak, 5 yards behind in the shotgun snap, will raise his right leg. He'll lift it just a little bit, and that's the signal. I'm ready for the snap. Zach is looking back. He sees Dak lift his leg. Zach will look forward, and he will move his left arm forward so that Cooper Beebe, the center, sees it. Cooper doesn't need to be looking through his legs back at Dak. He's making calls. He's, the center keeps his head up and looking at the defense. The right guard, Zach Martin, looks back, sees Dak lift his leg, signal, ready for the snap. Zach turns forward, lifts his arm. Cooper sees the arm move, and that's how you snap the ball. That's when you know to snap the ball. That is a silent count. So when you're watching the game on Sunday, particularly early when the crowd's going to be going crazy, watch for number 70, the right guard, Zach Martin, to be looking backward, then look forward, lift his arm, and that's when you know that the snap is coming.
Welcome to Christy's class.
Yes.
No, thank you.
Nice.
Thank you for breaking that down, Mama.
That's how a silent count
What are
works.
some realistic expectations for this offensive line on Sunday?
Go ahead, Bonnie.
You're going to jump in.
I was gonna say the realistic expectations for both offenses is for it to be a little ugly.
Yeah.
Listen, that's the reality. You know, we're excited about the season starting and everything, but typically offenses take some time, unless you're the Chiefs and you play during preseason and you just hit the ball, like hit the ground running because they're special like that. But most offenses take a little bit of time to get going. So you might see some miscues, you might see some nerves, you might see some things like that early in this game. And, you know, that's why they say week 7, week 8 is like what your team is or whatever. But I will say, to your point, Christy, even talking about the silent count, stuff like that, most of this offense, besides those 2 rookies, has been together.
Right.
They're going into this system for a second year. So I do think that they are, and they echoed that during camp. I feel like you ladies said that numerous times when you're out there, is that they're in a rhythm. The quarterback looks comfortable. They're comfortable in the system already. So maybe it won't be as ugly, but from both sides, there are going to be some warts because Watson didn't play in the preseason either. So we can see both offenses take some time maybe to find some rhythm in this game, which is to be expected in the first game of the season.
Real fast, let me just throw out the call number real quick. I'm sorry, ladies.
Yeah.
1-888-855-2297. We're taking calls. 1-888-855-2297. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know as much as we've said, that these 2 rookies may be the weakest link, but at the same time, I feel like these rookies have really shown that they can take the pressure, they can take these responsibility. Coach McCarthy has said over and over again, he's really impressed with their high IQ, willing to really just take this on, and that what is he saying? The moment isn't too big for them, right? And the maturity, right? So there is going to be, obviously some mistakes here and there, but I think the fact that you've got these 2 rookies and they're surrounded by guys that know what's going on, they can hopefully settle in.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, that first game, there is going to be a lot, but I think hopefully settling in.
Yeah. That's a good point. With Zach Martin being, with Cooper Beebe being next to both players are next to some of the best in the game right now. Tyler Smith has really his maturity, his intellect. He's not gonna let Tyler Guyton fail. He's gonna communicate to him. And you mentioned like Zach Martin being right next to Beebe. He's not gonna let him fail. So that to your point, that is something that I think is gonna matter, especially going into a hostile environment like you're talking about, Christy. Those veterans on that offensive line can really anchor those young guys moving forward.
And Chris, I want to ask you, have they taken them under their wing somewhat? I mean, from what I've seen in the pressers, it seems like it, but have they? Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's very important.
Who will have I'm sorry.
What are you guys laughing about over there?
Sorry. Who will have the biggest test? I'll say on the opposite side of the ball. What position group will have the biggest test on Sunday?
On offense?
On offense?
Strictly offense.
Wow. Well,
and I know we're going to break down
offensive line, but I think another big thing, I don't know about this running back by committee yet. I don't know about that yet.
We're just not going to do this today.
So, really, I think that this is going to be one of those, you say, ugly games. And because it's the first game and, offensive line playing together and you got a couple rookies, I think it's going to be ugly at times just because the Browns defense is that good.
Yeah.
And so I think it's going to be a game that takes a lot of patience, and you don't want to fall behind. You don't want to get away from the run game because you're going to have to keep the Browns defense honest and not let them pin their ears back and come after Dak, right? And have to throw the ball. But the other thing is, just one more point on the O-line and these young guys, it's not like Tyler Guyton's going to be on an island trying to handle the pass rusher. You can have the tight ends chip and help. You got Zeke back there. Rico's so much better in the pass protection, done a real good job, grown so much in that. So you're going to be able to help a young guy like Guyton.
And Zeke actually talked about that on Cowboys Hour yesterday, just mentioning how like this room has really improved in the pass protection area of the game, and that's obviously something that McCarthy's in this system you have to improve on. So I'm sorry about that.
Baby, I know he happy because That was his full-on job. That was his job when he was here before, and he was really the most reliable. So he didn't get to take plays off, really. So the fact that the Cowboys losing him last year went to the well. I remember Mike McCarthy talking about that. He said we've been obsessing over pass protection for our running backs, and we saw that Tony Pollard looked better in pass pro. Rico Dowdle was sacrificing his body. You also have Hunter Lipke now, who's an additional guy. So to your, I'm glad you said that, Christy. Girl, you mentioned that you can help out there on the outside for Guyton, who, like I said, I believe he's probably going to need a little bit more assistance in that area than Cooper Beebe. But I will say my position that I think is going to, have to wear their big boy draws is the receivers. You're gonna need Brandon Cooks coming off dealing with this knee, CeeDee Lamb getting reacclimated, fitting in. I don't think he's gonna have a problem, but he hasn't been here, so we'll see how that is. Jake Ferguson, all of these guys are gonna have to come play because this Cleveland secondary. I mean, if they're gonna have success, Dak can't hold on to the ball for a long time. I see the ball coming out fast. Yep. So guys need to be prepared to, and hopefully we see some yak opportunity. This Cleveland defense tackles very well, important. And they don't back down. They're very tough, and so that secondary back there, they benefit from that pass rush, but they can all play sticky coverage as well. So this wide receiver room is really going to get tested in this game, and we'll see what they're made of really early, I think.
We actually have a caller, Raphael, out of Louisville, Kentucky. What you got for us?
What's up, y'all?
What's up?
How y'all is?
Not how he is.
Weak. What's up? What you got for us?
Hey, how y'all doing? I usually call hanging with the boys. I talk to Nate and stuff like that. For the most part, I can take y'all way back. I've been listening forever. But I listen to y'all too. Y'all be kicking it for real talk.
Thank you.
Okay, I just got a question. Because every talk show I'm listening to, they're like, "Oh, we're just not concerned about the running back. Oh, who's the running back room? We don't know." And then they be telling y'all, well, it has something to do with the offensive line. I don't know if y'all feel this way like I do, but like Zeke reconnecting with that, and then what Coach McCarthy said yesterday, I think y'all got a misconception about what running back by committee is. What do y'all think about that? I think it's like saving Zeke up so they can go to the playoffs and do what they were trying to do years ago when they got together. Talk to me about that.
I mean, isn't Rico running back one?
Yeah, I think that Zeke may be out there to start the game, and Zeke is listed as RB1 on the depth chart. But Raphael, I think what McCarthy was saying Monday in his press conference, he's not blowing smoke. He's not trying to obfuscate anything. It's just that they're all going to get a chance in this, okay?
Right.
And so, and with a 17-game season, and you have an older guy like Zeke, and Rico's been here 4 years, and 2 of the years he's ended up on IR. So sorry to bring that up, but it's the truth.
Even Dalvin.
And Lipke, and I think we're going to see Lipke quite a bit in 21, where he's like a lead. Like a fullback, right? A lead blocker, but he's going to get some chance. Yeah, he's going to get, but he's going to get a chance to carry the ball too. And I think that he and Deuce are going to be involved. They'll flex out some, right, and be involved in the passing game. So I don't think McCarthy's trying to pull anything with fans or media. I think truly committee is reasonable because there are really only a few backs. The Derrick Henrys of the world, that's not the NFL anymore.
That is fact.
He is an anomaly now. And so it's just, Raphael, you and I are old, right? It's not our NFL anymore.
I'm 52. Come on now.
Yeah, it's not.
We have to say seasoned.
You're not old.
Seasoned.
We're seasoned.
Okay?
We're
You're
seasoned.
not old either. You're
It's not our NFL anymore.
No, you're right. And you know what else he also, McCarthy
committee?
also said that, this is, as much as people don't realize, it's a long season. And we know that what the toll it takes on these running backs. We know the longevity of a running back is 2.37 years, right?
Yeah,
so it's like if you look at that, you got to see that he's more just making sure these guys can stay healthy, they can produce well, and not having too many, carries that's going to be too much for them. So, or pounding them. So I think that's part of it as well.
Absolutely.
So like the old school song say, so it is survival of the fittest. I get it.
No, really, it is. It's a game of attrition. That the NFL is a game of attrition through a 17-game season, and it's not just getting through the season. It's being ready for your run in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's really a multifaceted thing.
I appreciate each and every one of you. All you guys done some training camp, and you was out there and staying in touch. You guys are amazing, for real.
Hey, thanks,
y'all
Raphael.
keep it up.
Thanks for calling
y'all
in.
Keep it up.
Thanks for
appreciate
watching.
it. Thank you for calling in, Raphael. You too.
Have a good one.
All right, ladies. Well, we got to take our first break. We've talked offensive line. We've talked running backs. Now we got to talk Kaelen Carson, the walking seatbelt. Is he ready to lock boys up on Sunday?
21.
We'll talk about it. We're taking our first break. We'll be right back.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
At Jigsaw Dating, we obviously want the Cowboys to bring that 6th ring home. But to be honest, we're more focused on finding the person who will put a ring on your finger. That's why we created a dating app that reveals your face through meaningful conversation, so you can date deeper. Because it's personality that matters the most, not looks. Join Jigsaw Dating today, dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Dickey family always mandated that the only Polish-style sausage worthy of their restaurant must have high-quality coarse ground beef and pork, rich spices, and fresh natural casings. We still serve it to this day, and it's so popular, Dickey's sausage has been named the official sausage of the Dallas Cowboys. The perfect matchup on game day. Dickey's Barbecue Pit. No one outsmokes us. Order at dickeys.com. For groups, call 866-BARBECUE.
Dibs on the ribs.
Rally Days is presented by SeatGeek. Give NFL fans an experience of a lifetime the day prior to Dallas Cowboys home games on September 14th, just around the corner. Enjoy activities at Miller Lighthouse. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of AT&T Stadium and more. Visit AT&TStadium.com/Rally Days for more information and get your tickets today.
Ooh, the Cowboys trying to give fans a show, and Caelen Carson trying to give the Cowboys fans a show as well on Sunday. The rookie cornerback switching from his previous number 41 to now 21, who was, of course, worn by Deion Sanders. I don't know.
Julius Jones, Pac-Man Jones,
Ezekiel Elliott, I don't know.
But he
like
said
a lot of
41 was
people.
less heavy.
That's what
he
he
said
saying.
21 was less heavy than
Yeah,
41.
saying
100%.
less heavy.
He didn't do it to be Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
just-
You could tell that for sure. He
Yeah.
was like, no,
For
that's
sure.
not it.
And he approached the coaching staff actually to get this number, but he spoke to the media about obviously making his first start this Sunday and absent of Deron Bland. So go ahead and take a listen to what he had to say.
Do you let yourself visualize this game coming up, or do you maybe try not to make a big deal about it? Do you kind of let yourself go and try to visualize what it's going to be like?
If you make it bigger than what it is, then it's going to be a big moment for you.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't try to make it a big moment. It's going to be any other game. I've been playing football all my life, so I just feel like nothing changes. Just more people, more, television. But at the end of the day, you've been doing this since you were 5 years old.
What's the biggest game you played in your life before you?
Biggest game? Well, I would say matchup game, Keelen Carson, Florida State game.
What did you learn from that experience?
That was a great game. That was really just don't make the moment too big. I feel like that game I didn't make the moment too big, and we just competed. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm here to do, is compete.
Did you expect to?
We talked in training camp. You said you've been an underdog all your life. You feel like you're an underdog here coming into the first game as well with these two established guys, receivers. I mean, they'll be facing.
I feel like like I said, I always am the underdog. Right now, but I don't really look at it, so really doesn't have no like meaning to me or anything.
The rookie, Caelen Carson, with so much confidence, and he's honestly had so much confidence since he walked into the Star. And I've got to ask y'all ladies first, though. Of course, with Deron Bland missing 6 to 8 weeks for a stress toe fracture, do y'all believe that Caelen Carson has a right to be this confident so far with what he's put on film? I'll start with you, Aisha.
I don't mind him being this confident because corner is it's very similar to kicker, is that when their confidence goes, you see it in their play right away. And sometimes they never get it back. We've seen great corners and great kickers go through that where they lose it. And it's just something that's hard to retain. And so for him to come in and feel this way about his ability, you see it in his play. You see it in how he mirrors. You see it in how he kind of talks mess sometimes. And I'm okay with that because Trayvon Diggs had that same vibe to him when he came in. And he did show it on the field. Yeah. I think that Kaelen Carson understands, what his job is and what he has to do. And I think he has the ability. So just like the rookies we were talking about before, it's going to be give and take. Yeah. And when you're talking about going up against people like Amari Cooper, one of the best route runners in this game, you're going to lose some. You're just going to lose some. It is what it is. But be in position. Try to make plays on the ball. I'm not expecting a perfect game from him, but he's capable. And I think the best thing about his confidence and what he displays is that he does have a short-term memory. That's one thing about him that I noticed in training camp. I noticed in film in college. You can get at him, but you're not going to rattle him like that. He can bounce back because he has that temperament. And
that's so important,
yes,
Aisha,
ma'am.
Because when you're going through a tough game, he's got to be able to shake it off and get right to the next play and can't think about what happened. And I'd rather have a guy confident than a guy who's not confident, right?
Absolutely.
And hopefully it translates onto the field.
Sure.
But you want someone who's confident, don't we all? And hopefully he can back it up. And he's got these great, ball hawk instincts, and I think he's going to be someone that is going to keep getting better and better, and I think he's going to prove himself. You can tell he's that kid who puts a lot of pressure on himself, so he's going to want to, be that guy. And with, like you said, the pressure, you're out on that island by yourself, right? And so he's got a lot of pressure on him, and I think right now he's already handling it pretty well.
One thing that he mentioned that I love to hear was how Al Harris, he was asked about his confidence, right? And what Al Harris does to kind of help with that confidence. And he just said he subtly reminds you that you belong here, you know? And that was something that really stuck to me. Did you?
I'm going to
Yes,
cry.
yeah, I like that
right?
too.
I'm going to cry.
Yeah. I love that about him because it just goes to show what Al Harris brings to this quarterback room. Of course, with Deron Bland, Trayvon Diggs, all these guys. I love the confidence. I was hearing, different podcasts, just hearing the different thoughts. And I think that you're getting a mix of some guys believe that he's carrying a big weight on his shoulder with the number that he's wearing and things like that. So I guess it's just a lot of mixed feelings, but I don't know. I like the confidence. He comes with the edge, and I think he belongs here in this team.
I just reminds my favorite show. It's a streaming show over the past few years is Ted Lasso. And Caelen Carson, be a goldfish.
Okay.
Be a goldfish, right? That was, if you've seen Ted Lasso, that's his advice to his players. And you need that at the cornerback position especially. And what that means is a goldfish doesn't have a memory. It doesn't remember anything. So when something bad happens on a play, you mess up or something bad happens with the team, you give up a goal or you give up a long pass or something like that, be a goldfish because that's in the past. You can't do anything about it.
That's true.
Just move on to the next thing.
Well, it's funny, do you guys remember during the press with McCarthy, Babe Laufenberg asked the question, he said, he had an interception the last 2 years and he has small hands. And did he think that was going to be an issue, 8.5 inches hands? Aisha,
yeah, he did. A lot of
what's your
people
thoughts on that?
No interceptions.
Yeah,
No.
So that kind of concerned me.
But
when I
no,
heard
it
that.
shouldn't concern.
It was interesting though because the first practice, and he's making breaks on the ball.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
what number is that?
Yeah.
That's is that
Right.
it's not Deron, and we
No,
know
it's him.
we know it's not Trayvon because he's not back out there yet.
Well, and I'm so glad that you mentioned Coach Harris, Nicole, because I feel like I'm not saying like we forget about him, but I will say that I feel like I didn't even mention him enough during training camp and how prepared this secondary looks and how together they look. Granted, Joe Witt Jr. and those gentlemen went over to the Commanders, and Al Harris he took over as the assistant head coach.
Right.
Yeah,
it's a big deal. It's a big deal, and his way to get these guys ready. And when you talk about the confidence, I'm glad that you mentioned that too. He instills confidence in these players, but he also teaches turnovers. We have guys on this roster that have been on this roster that weren't super turnover happy and stuff when they were on prior teams, even before they got here. Al Harris, Dan Quinn, and those guys got here. They weren't getting turnovers as a defense. And it was a lot of the same guys. Weren't getting turnovers the same way. This coaching staff coaches that, and I know that's something that Al Harris is going to continue. So I do think that interceptions and stuff are kind of instinctual, but if you can make a play on the ball, you should maybe be able to catch it with the right coaching. So I do think that I want to know if that's something they've been emphasizing with Kaelen Carson, because he's always so good in position as far as where he is in position. He should have opportunities to take the ball away, and even in this game, maybe too.
But we also know that what is the best friend for a defensive back? And it's a pass rush.
Well, Lord.
So you've got to put not only put pressure on Deshaun Watson, but keep him in the pocket, right, so that he's not escaping and extending plays where you have to cover a guy 4 seconds instead of 2 seconds. But I think there's a lot of pressure on the pass rushing core, because when you've got a young rookie back there at cornerback, that the best thing that you can do for him is have the quarterback hurry his throw. And don't measure the pass rush in sacks as the only statistic. Yeah. It's in hurries. It's in hits on the quarterback.
Pressure.
Yeah. It's pressure, and that's going to help Caelen Carson a lot.
That's a great
and
point.
Who else will help Caelen Carson? Trayvon Diggs.
Oh,
7 is up, baby.
Yes.
He's back for the first time since September of 2023. What does it mean to have Trayvon Diggs back? I'll start with you, Aisha.
I don't know yet.
They've been, kind of slowly progressing him over the last couple of months. But
have they said anything about pitch count, anything yet?
They have not said anything about it.
I don't think he's going to be on one, crazy as kept. So what I will say is I wonder for the other side of the ball, the offense, I wonder if they are going to – if they're going to play against him the same way. Because, before Trayvon, he warranted you making some decisions, from an offensive standpoint. People weren't even throwing to his side like that. So given that he's coming off of injury, and that's why it's first game of the season, I'm wondering if he's going to garner that same respect coming off of an ACL, or if they're going to go at him. Because I do see people can say what they want to say. There's elements of football that are emotional. They are going to try to get Amari Cooper the ball. Yeah. They understand what happened here. They understand how he left. They understand that he has some things he wants to prove as well.
Yeah. Yep.
I can definitely see them making it a point to get him the ball. And I don't think that they would let Trayvon follow him or shadow him coming back from an ACL. So it might just be individual. It might be this is your side of the field, this is my side of the field, and that's how it is. So that's my point. I'm excited. I don't know what to expect just yet because we haven't seen him in a full game capacity. But I'm more curious on how they decide to go at him, if they do, or if they still try to avoid him all the way around. Because if they still trying to avoid him, then we're going to be cooking with gas. You understand me? If they ain't want to be bothering him, I'm going to be happy.
I think I'm too hyped. I think he's going to have this big breakout, comeback year. I really do. I think he's going to lead the league interception. I think his leadership, too. I think I love the fact when he's on the field, his leadership, what that brings to this whole, the whole team as a whole. Right, Christy? I mean, he really brings that.
Sure.
And so he hypes up. He, he talks, he communicates. He's got all that I think that brings.
Got 2 DMV kids.
Swag.
Got 2 DMV corners.
Yeah, a lot jabbing.
Use right now.
A lot talking.
I know. I think they're going to test him. I think they're going to test him.
But
the thing is, though, you got a rookie on the other side.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing.
Right. And the other thing is, in terms of having Trayvon match up and trail somebody, and beyond this week, Jerry, we have to remember that Cleveland acquired Jerry Jeudy in a trade with Denver. So they got Jeudy matched up with Amari Cooper. Jordan Lewis was talking yesterday about how they're carbon copies of each other, great route runners, and just kind of so similar, not just because they're both from South Florida originally and that they went to University of Alabama, but all this kind of stuff. Yeah. So that, and don't forget David Njoku, the tight end. I mean, this is a good passing game. But the thing is, I don't know if you want to have Trayvon follow the best receiver for the first few weeks. If you've got a rookie, do you want him flopping sides, which might happen, or do you want him to stick to one side,
probably,
and not have to worry about flopping to another side?
I would probably stick to one side, but also too, there was. Listen, I don't want to listen. It's Tuesday, ain't it?
Yeah.
How many more days we got? I ain't trying to get too deep into my film study. Kevin Stefanski is now their OC. He's been their OC, but they brought in I think Ken Dorsey as well. Mm-hmm. And one thing about their offense is it sounds like, listening to Deshaun Watson and a presser he did not too long ago, they're going to be doing a lot more things spread. And so they about to toss this ball around. Cleveland has been known for their run game and what they do in the run game. Obviously, they're not going to have Nick Chubb. He's still coming back from the knee injury he had last year. They have Jerome Ford and a couple other gentlemen. I'm wondering how much they're going to toss this ball around more than what maybe we expect, especially since they've been a rely on the run game type team for a while. So this good point.
Yeah, you're right. They may open up that offense, right?
Well, yeah, Deshaun Watson used the word spread. Yeah. So to me, and it sounds like, because they asked him what was different about this offense, and it's the fact that it is more spread out, is that they're moving receivers around more and doing things like that. So to your point, Christy, you might not have the opportunity to just say Trayvon shadow this guy. You might just have to play straight up, and then you can't forget Elijah Moore in the slot, because Jordan Lewis gonna have to it's come on with it too. So they got some dudes out there, but the quarterback is. We'll get to that probably another day.
Can y'all talk just real fast? I'm sorry, I know we don't want to dive too into it, but the confidence with, maybe you talk about the slot, Israel Mukuamu, who's been in the slot playing behind Jordan Lewis. Is there confidence at all when you talk about going up against this Cleveland's offense?
I think that someone like Israel Mukuamu will be better suited to go up against an Njoku.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because one thing about Njoku is he has run after catch ability.
Okay.
He's big.
Yeah.
He's big. I don't want Jordan Lewis. I know Jordan a big dog at heart. I don't want him trying to tackle him. I think the best matchup for him would be a Marquise Bell or Israel Mukuamu, if you have to match up that way, because he's gonna run through tackles, honey. I mean, ain't nobody got time for him.
Yeah, he's a Pro Bowl tight end.
Yeah, and he's huge. He's physical. He can play nasty. He can block. He gives you more of the Kittle vibes, than a Kelsey vibe, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that
more
does.
physical.
Absolutely
Physical.
So ain't nobody in the mood for him. So listen. We go.
I'm sick.
Yes, Israel Mukuamu to me would be better suited to deal with an Njoku or something like that. But Elijah Moore is a slippery, stop on a dime type, slot receiver.
It's a tough matchup.
Get his ass out of here.
Sick of you. On that note, we're going to take our second break. You're watching Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw, the preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys. We'll be right back.
The Dickey family always mandated that the only Polish-style sausage worthy of their restaurant must have high-quality coarse ground beef and pork, rich spices, and fresh natural casings. We still serve it to this day, and it's so popular, Dickey sausage has been named the official sausage of the Dallas Cowboys. The perfect matchup on game day. Dickey's Barbecue Pit. No one outsmokes us. Order at dickeys.com. For groups, call 866-BARBECUE.
Dibs on the ribs.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
At Jigsaw Dating, we obviously want the Cowboys to bring that sixth ring home. But to be honest, we're more focused on finding the person who will put a ring on your finger. That's why we created a dating app that reveals your face through meaningful conversation, so you can date deeper. Because it's personality that matters the most, not looks. Join Jigsaw Dating today, dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
All right, come shop at the Star in Frisco on Saturday, September 28th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Flea Style Market at the Star, presented by Maker Place by Michaels, featuring 50-plus local makers offering art, fashion, home decor, jewelry, and kids' items. Market at the Star is always a favorite. Admission is free, so visit thestardistrict.com for more info.
Ladies, we got a little fun game to play. Shout out to Kyle Yeomans on Talking Cowboys, by the way. I stole this game from him. I know he's going to look at this and be like, Stealer, you thief.
It's appropriating.
I like it.
She's an appropriator.
Hello.
It's a compliment, right?
That's it, yes.
Right? A little over-under game. All right, so I have a couple of little statements. I want to see if you guys are going to take the over or the under. Are y'all ready? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cowboys will finish with a 12-win season. Over or under?
Hey, is there a neutral?
Mm-mm.
Tater tots. Is there a we agree with you?
Mm-mm. 12.5. No.
Because if it's 12 wins, if we think it's going to be 12 wins, then it's not over under. So do you think they're going to win 12 or more?
I think they're going to win 12 games. It's like they cursed or something. It's just,
curse.
It's not a bad
curse. That'd be a wonderful
well, it's
thing.
not a bad curse. It's not a
I'll
bad
take it
curse.
right now. Let's fast forward right now. I will take that right now.
It's not a bad curse.
We're all in.
But what?
On 12 wins.
She's funny. But no, can I just say I think they're going to win 12 games?
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I think they're going to 12 games.
Well, regular season's never really been, we always expect them. That's not been the problem, right? So am I bad to say the ceiling 11 and the bottom is like 9? So I'm going I'm going under.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm going under just because of first place schedule.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason why you have. That's the reason why there's parity in the NFL. It's not just the draft with the worst teams picking first and the best teams picking at the end. It's a first place. You finish first place in 2023 in your division. You play a first place schedule the next year.
11 is fair.
And I also think there's going to be a couple trap games in there, like Atlanta and Carolina, ones you just never think of. Those trap games will get you. Those are the two that I'm looking out for.
Let's just talk about the first 3. You got Cleveland, with Baltimore, Detroit.
No, New Orleans.
New Orleans. There we go. New Orleans.
Home
Okay.
opener.
Then
I think
Detroit.
11 is fair.
I think.
What do you think, Nicole?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take the under. I'm gonna go 11.
11 is fair.
I hate to do that. Yeah.
No, it's honest. But what do you think? Why you being?
I know. I felt that same line too.
It's your game.
I know. I just hate having to be like.
No, 11 is cool.
Same.
But what do
That's
y'all think it's going to take to win the
What do you
division?
think?
What do you think it's going to take to win the division?
I think 11 could win the division.
I agree because I think.
You think so?
Yeah, because I think Philly is
Philly
in for an awakening of some sort. I do think the Commanders are going to be a little bit better with the coaching staff that they have now and some of the things they're doing. The Giants have Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Bye.
No offense.
Bye.
Just the reality
Go
of
away.
the matter at this point. So yeah, it might just take 11 games. I agree.
All right, next one. Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland will combine for 15 interceptions this year.
Well, now he gone.
Over the under.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah.
When he comes back.
So after 6-8 weeks.
After 6-8 weeks.
Oh God, that's
That mean
under.
that mean
Yeah,
Trayvon
I was going to say under. Yeah, with
I
that.
say under. Trayvon
Yeah.
gonna have to do a whole bunch of work while the run is gone. And then we just discussed that Kaelen Carson still learn how to get picked. So I think we're gonna see more safety picks this year.
Yes,
Wanye.
I think we'll see more
Donovan Wilson,
even Dono.
Dono, but I'd see Dono. A lot of fumble recoveries and forced fumbles.
Yes, ma'am.
See that.
So
I think if you did 15 and that included some fumble recoveries or forced fumbles by the secondary, but hey, we are spoiled by what Deron Bland did last year and what Trayvon the previous. That ain't normal, folks. We're spoiled.
I just had to throw a little razzle dazzle in.
Okay. I like it though.
Marshawn Nealon will be a top 10 pass rusher at the end of the season. I'm sorry, wait. I did not read that right. Marshawn Nealon will be top 10 at the end of the season in quarterback pressures. There we go.
For the Cowboys?
For the Cowboys, absolutely.
For the Cowboys?
Yep.
By the end of the season.
By the end of the season.
That could be a possibility.
Yeah.
I'm
just by
throwing
nature
out.
of the position.
I'm just asking y'all. What's y'all's thoughts?
I'll say yes.
I said yes too. Yeah.
I don't think that's his strength.
He's got a lot of
but
he's
just
improving
by
on
the
it.
He's got
nature of the
upside for
position.
sure.
And he's determined.
No, I think
He wants
to
defensive
prove that
rookie
he
of the year.
can.
He even said that's what his goal is, which I like having a goal like that.
I'm gonna pass.
You can't pass.
It's top 10 on the team,
Top
right?
10 on the team. Top 10 on the
Yeah.
team, not in the NFL.
On the team?
On the
Oh
team.
yeah. I can. No, my mind can't. Y'all don't understand. I feel like I gotta do some more research before I be answering questions sometimes.
Here we go. Braden Cooks will have an 1,000-yard season this year.
What's wrong with his name? No. I'm
that's a
asking
good
y'all
question.
because this
Yeah.
is the second. Last year he dealt with a knee injury that kept him out of certain parts of camp, and then this year he had a knee injury that kept him out of certain parts of camp. So
I think it was knee soreness, though.
It was just his knee was sore.
It was
It was
knee
soreness,
But what is that?
From what we
exactly.
were told was knee
yeah,
soreness.
what we're told. They don't. Yeah.
Tater tots.
I just think that Jake Ferguson's going to get so many passes and be so involved that, I mean, I hope he gets it, but I think CD after a couple weeks will be back to CD quality in terms of the production.
Yeah.
I want to say yes because if he stayed on the same pace as he was, the first 5 weeks of the season, nobody knew what they was doing, and then they picked it up. They figured things out. They really picked up in the red zone, like maybe the last 8 games. If he would have stayed on that trajectory, he would have had a 1,000-yard season. So I think it's possible. But I do think that, and it's just me, y'all, I do think that we could see some of these young receivers find their way on the field too. I think we're gonna see Flournoy at some point in time on the field.
Yeah.
I just do.
I want to say yes because if you look at when one of the maybe positive things when CD held out was the fact that Dak and Brandon were able to get this unison.
Oh, and Tolbert, Tolbert
they're able
too,
to get the kind of that connection and be in unison. So I want to say I hope yes, but I don't know because of the maybe injuries, but I want to say yes.
It don't work like that no more either.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have multiple 1,000-yard receivers, but the value is really in you being hard to plan against.
Yeah.
And when you have multiple
It's so
guys
many,
that can give it to you.
Yep.
So maybe those days is over.
And you made a great point, Christy, with Ferguson. Not even just the receiving.
Yeah,
core.
he's attractive. He's going to attract.
I think Cavante will be more involved with some of the passing this year too, and not just jet sweeps, fly sweeps.
We talked about the run game. I think that we're going to see. I think that we are all up and down about what this run game's going to be. I think they're going to find ways to manufacture a run game with Cavante Turpin. And also, you mentioned last week, CeeDee Lamb putting on more weight, putting on more things. We might see him do some Debo-esque things to get this run game going. So, yeah.
That brings me to my
I'm
next
going to say
one, ladies.
under. Go ahead.
Ryan Flournoy will finish 3rd on the team in targets. Over or under?
I'm going to say under.
Okay.
I'm going to say under too.
Under.
I'm going to say under, but I think he is
say
going to
like
see
fourth.
I think he's going to have a monster
4th, maybe
season,
5th.
but
he could definitely be 4th.
I say 4th. CD, of course. Jake Ferguson 2nd. The third one for me is up in the air because I don't know if it's going to be Tolbert
Or Cooks.
or Cooks.
Cooks, yeah.
So I don't know. Then I say 4th would be Ryan Flournoy.
Yeah, I
can see that.
I think they're going to put him be on the
Absolutely.
field eventually, y'all. So, yeah, I would say under for him.
All right, last one. Cowboys run defense will finish in the top 5 by the end of the regular season. They were 16th in 2023. Over under.
You should have said 10.
Yeah.
Should have said top 10.
Nope.
I'm going to say over. I'm going to say over. I think you are going to see improvement with the linebackers being here. I think you're going to get better edge play. But that's a big jump. That's a big old jump. And I know that Zimmer really focuses on run defense. They're not going to be quite there yet. But I do think they can be
Top
like
10?
low teens, which is okay. Low teens in the top realm of the top of tens. And I'm cool with that.
Okay.
What you got, Vonnie?
I think they're going to come out with a cold start and then kind of start to gel and get it together. So I'm going to say maybe top 10, but not top 5.
Okay.
Top 5 is nasty.
Yeah, it's tough.
Hey,
No.
That's the point of the game. What you got?
No, I think that's just a little too optimistic. And the guys that
And we're not
they brought
optimistic
in,
here.
Well, no, I mean, but let's be
Yeah.
honest about it. Linval Joseph and Jordan Phillips, these are older guys, and they're going to be part of a rotation. Mozzie hasn't proven himself yet, and I think Osa is one of the most underrated players and consistent players on the team. But they're going to that line's going to do a good job of keeping the linebackers clean. But I'm just not ready to go top 5 yet.
Not yet.
All right. Well, the icing on the cake is Dak will lead the league in touchdown passes again. But are you going to take the over or the under with 38? Last year he had 36.
Under.
Okay.
Why?
Under, just because it's a Cowboy record. I mean, this is. It's like these interceptions with Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs. I mean, they don't grow on trees. We get so spoiled with it. I hope that he does.
Yeah.
Actually, I hope that he doesn't have to, but that we actually have a run game and we can
That's what
score
I was
in the
thinking.
red
I was
zone
talking
with the
about that
ball
too,
on
the
the
run
ground.
game.
Yeah.
So I don't want my quarterback to be the league leader in passing statistics because it means either I'm falling behind and have to throw the ball or I can't run the ball and I have to throw. You want balance. And so it would be wonderful if he did that, but I'm hoping that we don't have to rely on it.
What if we got both?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
I'm a fan.
If we could have both, there we go. We go over and bold prediction, he gets MVP, and we got a running game. Isn't an Achilles heel? We get it all.
Hey.
How about that?
Yeah.
Christmas comes early?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I just want to be able to.
But I
I just
agree
want
with you.
positive yardage on first and second down. I've prayed for it. At this point, we might need to go on a fast. We only ask for so much.
Does that
Nicole, you
include
know
ice
about
cream?
that.
Is ice cream part of a fast? Because I don't
can't
know.
have that
I don't know if
either.
I want it that bad.
I just listen. At this point, I'm ready for this quarterback to have an adequate run game. I don't believe he's had it for a minute now, and it has been a lot on his shoulders.
And being in
So-
a contract year, too, he's got a lot of pressure to do a lot of things. So
Now he might want to fling that thing around. Shoot, I hope he don't.
YOLO.
But I will say to your point, Chrissy, I agree with everything you said. But I will say that first 5 weeks of them being terrible, he probably could have had 2 more and ended up
Absolutely.
at 38 too. So yeah, they. Was you here yet?
I wasn't here yet.
I'm glad. It was rough out here.
Well, hopefully it ain't rough on Sunday.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be good
It is
vibes.
gonna
It's
be
gonna
fun.
suck. It's gonna be fun.
And we're talking about it all tomorrow and Thursday and Friday leading up to the game. But that is a wrap for today's show. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye.
bye.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!